Should we get started? I'm Nick Bollettieri. Got some stories to tell you, baby. Maria Sharapova, a couple of years ago in New York, called my manager and said, can Nick come over to my hotel? So I went over to the hotel. We sat in the patio. She said, Nick, I'm writing my book about my life. Tell me what I was like when I was a young girl. And a lot of people think, you know, she was sort of stuck up a little bit. Here with the kids, she was regimented. It was like planning a war plan of action. She's tough to beat competitive. She's one of the strongest minds in the history of the ladies' game. Here, here, here. That's Sharapova. The big thing about Maria is this. Maria's very disciplined when she practices. She almost likes to lead her own practice. Don't say too much. When she first came, there was this man on the court. I thought he was an income tax man. Everything I said he wrote down. Yuri Sharapova. And off the court, what a lot of people don't know, she hits with the kids, she signs the autographs, always texts me. And her dad said, Nick, you've always been part of our life. So being with Maria has been a big treat to me. Fantastic girl.
Nick's got all the stories. I mean, literally, from all the superstars. We talked about Andre Agassi the other night, Paul. Now it's Maria Sharapova.
It's amazing. And it's always fun to hear Nick go back in time and relive some of his stories. But with Maria, I mean, she's such an interesting lady. I think one of the greatest competitors sports, not only tennis, has ever seen. Someone that maximized her talent and really understood what she needed to do as well as she could in tennis. I had the good fortune a couple of years ago running an exhibition that Maria was supposed to play in. And she couldn't play. She knew it was for the Southern Cal firefighters and a couple other charities. She said, let me come by. So she comes by and she shakes hands and she goes out and does a clinic. She can't hit because her shoulder was messed up. She was so amazing. And I think that a lot of people don't know that side of her. Yeah. She can do some unbelievably philanthropic and generous stuff. And I'm sure Nick has a lot more stories that he could tell us.
Yeah, he could write a book on that, I think. But I remember seeing Maria Sharapova the first time when she was about 10. I think Yuri has to be given so much credit because he was kind of the architect for Maria's career. Obviously came over early with Yuri, left mom in Russia because they had to. Maria is so young and yet became so independent. But Yuri also figured out he wanted her to have amazing ground strokes. So who do you go to for that, Paul? You go to Robert Lansdorp out here in Southern California. Robert once in a while will call me and say, I got a great one, Tracy. You got to come see this one. And he talked about her intensity. He talked about her focus at such a young age. I mean, nothing was going to get in her way. Such a professional from 10 years old. I saw her at the center court at the Kramer Club. Huge serve already. And just the walk. She was going to be number one and get out of her way. And, you know, even a professional now with all of her businesses. Just ultimate career.
First Russian woman to get to number one in the world, 5 Grand Slams later. And you think about what Nick said, one of the strongest minds in the history of the women's game. Where does that come from?
Well, look, I think it comes from her personality traits, but I think it's all summed up when she said that she moves like a cow on clay. She said that. And she ends up winning 2 French Opens. That should tell you something about her ability to let the mental drive the physical, one of the best there's ever been.
And I think it also comes from just the tough start of her life. I mean, coming over here, not speaking English, the kids at the academy making fun of her. I think that fueled her. And Robert Lansdorp, a taskmaster on the court, she'd come here and spend 3 hours with Robert. Most kids would be
Can anyone stay on the court 3 hours?
Exactly. Not only you don't want to hear it, but it's so tough physically. So, you know, she's just a warrior.
She truly is. And it's such an incredible story, the fact that the father came to the States with $700 in savings. And then Maria went on to be Forbes, according to Forbes, the highest paid female athlete in the world, 11 years in a row. What a champion. Look forward to seeing her in Newport, Rhode Island when she gets inducted into the International Tennis Hall of Fame.